this coordinate system. So if you have any during the classes, if you have any doubts, means you can communicate it in. Can just unmute from your end and you can just communicate because since I'm sharing this PPT, so if you text anything, so I just need to switch from this PPT to the what do we call that browser where I've opened the meeting. So if you have any doubts, you can unmute the audio and you can speak. So that will be better also. So we were talking about this coordinate reference frame. So we had some 5 steps to be precise. Some 5 steps were there, um, like how the picture which contains a series of objects will be displayed. So that is what we were talking about in the last class. So we'll talk about this in detail. So so first thing is see the first thing which we yesterday we spoke about the world coordinate system or the Cartesian coordinate system. After that, we spoke about the screen coordinates where you will be setting the pixel and all, no, and all. So first thing is we'll begin with the coordinate reference frame only. So there is, if you want to describe a picture, so in order to describe a picture, the first thing is you have to select the uh, the coordinate system. So here we will be talking about the Cartesian coordinate system. So this Cartesian coordinate system is also known as the world coordinate reference frame. So this reference frame can be either in 2D or in 3D. So we will describe the objects in our picture by giving the geometric position of the objects in terms of positions in world coordinates. For example, I gave an example of a straight line. So how do you define a straight line? You define a straight line with the positions, like with their endpoint positions, like the beginning of the line and ending of the line. So that is how you'll define a straight line. So these coordinate positions will be stored in the screen description with other information like the attributes, objects like color and their coordinate extent. So what is this coordinate extent? So coordinate extent means the minimum value of xyz and the maximum value of xyz for each of the objects. So this we will call it as the coordinate extents. So this is regarding the coordinate extents. Once the coordinate extent is being decided, um, see this coordinate extent will be described as a bounding box for the object. So then objects will be displayed on the screen um, for by passing the screen descriptions for viewing routines. So which will what this routine will do means it will identify the visible surfaces and it will map the objects to the frame buffer positions and then onto the video monitor. So after this process is being done, the scan conversion algorithm will store the information about the scene, like the color value at the suitable locations in the frame buffer, and it will be displayed on the screen, and the scene will be displayed on the output device. So this is regarding the coordinate reference frame. So after this um, we will talk about the um, screen coordinates. So screen coordinates, what is the screen coordinates means? See, the positions on the video monitor. The positions on the video monitor will be referenced in um, in terms of screen coordinates. So these screen coordinates are integer values, which will correspond to the pixel positions in a frame buffer. So the locations on the video monitor are referenced in screen coordinates. What are the screen coordinate means? These are the integer values which will correspond to the pixel positions in a frame buffer. The scanline algorithm for the graphics primitives will use the the coordinate descriptions to determine the location of the pixel. So like in our example, the line segment is described or defined by the end points, the starting of the line and beginning of the line. So what this display algorithm will do means it will calculate the position for the pixels that lie along this line. So between the two end parts, there will be a line, the beginning of the line and end of the line. So what this display algorithm will do means it will calculate the position of those pixels that are lying along the line between the end points. So what example? See, for example, you just assume that P1 is the beginning of the point and P2 is the end of the point for a line segment. So what this scan line algorithm will do means this display algorithm must calculate the pixel positions along this line. Along this line means from P1 to P2 there is a line. No, it has to calculate the pixel positions for uh, each of the positions along this line, that is between the two endpoints P1 and P2. The same thing for P3 and P4 also. For P3 and P4 it has to calculate the pixels, the positions for the pixels that lie along this path P3 and P4. So this is the process that is involved in screen coordinates. And also this um, pixel will occupy some position. It will occupy some position on the screen. The size of the pixel must also be taken into consideration. So since it will occupy some space on the screen, the size of the pixel must also be taken into consideration. So as of now, for the present, what we'll assume means the integer screen position references the center of the pixel area. Once the pixel positions have been identified, the color values must be stored in the frame buffer. So this is regarding the screen coordinates. And also here screen coordinates also it is having two functions. There is one function called set pixel x comma y. So what this will do means the set pixel x comma y function will store the current color settings into the frame buffer at the position x comma y with respect to the position of the screen coordinate origin. So set pixel x comma y, what it will do, it will store the current color settings into the frame buffer at the location x comma y, which is relative to the or with respect to the position of the screen coordinate. So this is the usage of set pixel. And also there is one more function. This is for setting the pixel value. In order to retrieve the pixel value, you have one more function called get pixel x comma y comma color. So what it will do? So set pixel means set the current color settings into the frame buffer at a position x comma y with respect to the position of the screen origin. So this get pixel x comma y means it will retrieve the color frame or the current frame buffer settings for the pixel location. Given the pixel location, it will retrieve the current frame buffer setting for that location. So color, it contains three parameters x comma y, the positions along with the color. This color parameter will receive an integer value which is the combination of RGB bit codes which are stored at the specific location x comma y. See, it is like there is one position on the screen. For that position on the screen there will be some color, so that you are retrieving that. So that position of that the color at that position x comma y will be a combination of RGB bit values. So that you are retrieving. So that is what this get pixel the positions will do. Uh, so whenever see, and also there is also one value called depth value. For as of now we are studying about the two dimension scenes. Now for two dimension scenes the depth value will be considered 0. The depth value will be 0. So these are uh, some of the points with respect to the screen coordinates. Screen coordinates means it is with respect to the setting up of the pixel values on the of screen. which we are referring in terms of pixel positions in the frame buffer. So here we are learning about two functions, set pixel and get pixels. Any doubt with respect to this screen coordinates? Any doubt regarding the working of get pixel, pixel? So the practical thing we'll see, the lab program will implement this. As of now, it should be clear with the theory part. Any doubt? Yes or no? Is this understood? Any doubts? See this. Any doubt with respect to this coordinate reference frame, screen coordinates? Any doubt? The coordinate reference frame also it is a process. It is a process of 5 steps. Screen coordinates is dealing with respect to the location of the frames in terms of pixels. And also there are two functions, get function, get pixel, it's a pixel functions. A pixel is for giving the values or other the values, and get pixel is for retrieving those values. Any doubt? Archana, any doubt? Yes or no? Jarish Patel, Chetana, is this concept clear? Screen coordinates, yes or no? Fayaz, Akhil, Ganesh, if you're not responding, I'll just call out your name. That's all. Okay. So this is after this, absolute and relative coordinate specification. So what is this absolute coordinate specification? So, so whatever we are discussed till now, so whatever we are discussed till now, so that will come under absolute coordinate specification. That means the values specified are the actual values within the coordinate system. So whatever value you are specifying in say so whatever value you are giving, so those values are the actual functions within the coordinate systems. But relative specifications means, so here it will allow the positions to be specified using relative coordinates. So why this method is used? This method is used for
So you're not audible properly.
see as of now. So till now, whatever we have studied was the coordinate reference frame, where the values were specified in terms of the actual positions with respect to the within the coordinate system. Now this there is one concept called relative coordinates. What does this relative coordinate means? Here you will specify the positions using relative coordinates. Why this method is useful or where it is useful means this method is useful in painting systems, in graphics packages, for publishing and printing applications. So here what you will do means you will specify the coordinate positions as an offset from the last position which the user had referred, or from the current position you will specify the coordinate position as an offset value. So how it is how we can do this how we can do this means, um, see for example, you know that there is a command called there is a command called GLU ortho 2D. So here, using this function, you can set up any two-dimension Cartesian reference frame. Using this uh, GLU ortho 2D function, you can set up any two-dimension Cartesian reference frame. So what are the arguments for this function? The argument values for these functions are four um, variables, where the first two corresponds to x coordinate and the last two corresponds to y coordinates for the picture you want to display. So mm, so for since this GLU ortho 2D specifies an orthogonal projection, So you should be sure that the coordinate values are placed in the projection matrix, that is open, that is GL underscore projection, that is a matrix mode which you will be using. The we have studied in the basic program, GL matrix mode was GL underscore projection. So mm, so what it will do, what this will ensure means, like if you are making this matrix mode as the GL underscore projection, so what it will do means, this will ensure that the coordinated values or the coordinate values were not accumulated with any values which we had used previously for setting of the projection matrix. So what it will do means, here the display window will be referenced with the coordinates uh, with 0 comma 0 as the minimum position at the lower left corner, and the maximum position is 200 comma 150 at the upper right corner. So after this we can use, or we can designate one or more graphic primitives for displaying using the coordinate which reference specified in this statement. So if the coordinate extents are within the coordinate range of the display window, the objects will be displayed. If it is not in that range, the object will not be displayed. Only those parts of the primitive which is within the display window system will be displayed. See, the meaning is simple. So what you will do, you will set up the projection. You will make the matrix mode as GL underscore projection. Then you will set the range of this display window using GL ortho 2D. So after that, you will start describing the objects. After that, you might start describing a point. You might start describing a line. You might start describing a triangle. You might start describing a polygon also. So those objects which are having the range within this display window will be displayed. And those uh, objects where their range is not within this display window will not be displayed. That is the simplified analysis. So with those are coordinates, those coordinates of the primitives which are within the range of this display window will be displayed, and those which are not in this range will not be displayed. And you may encounter a scenario where some part of the object will be within the range and some part of the object will not be within the range of the display window. So in that case, only the part which is there within the range will be displayed. So that's also, um, this is regarding the relative coordinate specifications. So now we'll start with the primitives. Now we'll start with the geometric primitives. That means the basic functions which are used to create graphic primitives in OpenGL. See, this geometric primitives means it can be points, it can be line segments, it can be polygons. So these are the basic primitives which we are using in um, OpenGL. So geometric primitives can be points, it can be lines, it can be polygons. Sir, what do you mean by polygon? Means polygons can be like triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, octagon, uh, heptagon. So all these are examples of polygon. So even the square means it's nothing but quadrilateral. So these are the examples. So polygon means it is also one of the basic geometric object. So this open geometric primitives means this geometric primitives consists of points, it consists of lines, and it consists of polygon. Polygon means I just told you, right? Triangle, square, pentagon, heptagon, like that. So these primitives should pass through the geometric pipeline, which will decide whether the primitive is visible or not, and also how the primitive should be visible. So primitive, whenever I'm talking about primitive, the primitive can be line, the primitive can be polygon, the primitive can be point. So these primitives should pass through the geometric pipeline. So this geometric pipeline will decide whether the primitive is visible or not, and also how this primitive is visible on the screen, or how it should be visible on the screen. So for this, we'll use number of geometric transformation like rotating the primitive, scaling the primitive, can be done. So those primitives which we want to display them on the screen, we can perform the rotation, we can perform the scaling. So how do you create the primitive? How do you create the primitive? How do you create the points? So for that, I given the syntax. The syntax is given on the left hand side. GL begin function, within that it is taking type as the parameter. After the GL vertex or GL vertex, so there can be n number of vertexes between the GL begin function and the GL end function. So what do this GL begin tell? This GL begin indicates the beginning of the object that has to be displayed, and GL end indicates the end of the object to be um, like GL end indicates the end of that primitive. So here the type, here the type is that the type can be points, the type can be lines. So that means it can, there is one constant called GL underscore points. So that means you're referring to the geometric primitive points. So just now, you just know the syntax. GL begin type, where the type can be points or it can be line. So after that, GL begin indicates the beginning of the object which needs to be displayed, and GL end indicates the end of the primitive. So in this, first we'll talk about the point functions. First we'll talk about the point function. So the type within, see the type for GL begin, here you can check, here we had used the type GL begin type. What is the type we are using? Here we are using GL underscore points as the type. So what it will specify means, um, what type of object we are using. So the type within this GL begin will specify the type of object. Here we are using the type of the object as GL underscore points. That means each vertex is displayed as the points. So each vertex will be displayed as the point. So that is what. So um, so what is this vertex? So vertex means it's a point where uh, more than two lines or edges meet. So that is the definition. So that is the definition of vertex. So what do you mean by vertex? Vertex is a point where two or more lines or edges meet. So that is the definition of vertex. So what this type, the type here we are passing the type as GL underscore points as the type parameter. It is specifying the type of the object. So here each vertex will be displayed as a point. Whenever you are using GL underscore point, each vertex is displayed as a point, and the size of the point will be at least pixel, one pixel. So and also we can also specify the other attributes for these points, like you can set the size also, you can set the size also. But by default by default, this OpenGL point function will be displayed with default size and default color. So whatever is the default size and color, that will be displayed, but you can change the color as well as you can change the size. So what is the default color? So the default color will be white, and the default pixel size um, will be the size of single screen pixel. So that is what. So that is the some points regarding this GL point functions. What we studied here, the type of the object will be GL underscore points. Each vertex will be displayed as a point. So vertex means it's a point where two or more lines meet or the edges meet. The size of the point will be at least one pixel. Um, Here, the default attribute values will be specified. We can change those default values also. The default color will be white, and the default point size will be equal to the size of a single screen pixel. So here what I'm doing, here I'm writing one line. So here I'm writing GL vertex 2i. So where 2 indicates the 2 dimension and I indicates integer, and I'm passing the values called 50 comma 100. So and also I'm passing in the second again I'm calling GL vertex 2i. There I'm passing 75 comma 150, and also I am I'm calling one more function 100 comma 200. So here what I'm doing means I'm specifying the points. I'm specifying the points. So you just think for a minute what this function will do. So then I'll just tell how this point function will work. You just think for a minute. You just think why I'm passing the two coordinates. Just think for a minute. So any guesses? Any guesses regarding this? See, first you understand the syntax. So if you understand the syntax, I think um, you can easily know about that. So what we studied that primitives are displayed with default size, default color, if you're not specifying anything. So after this, um, here there is one function. Here we are using one function called GL vertex star. So this star indicates the suffix code that are required for this function. So what is the suffix code I'm using? Here I'm using the suffix code as 2i. So why this suffix code is used means they will identify the spatial dimension. I told you 2 means 2D, or the numerical type to be used for the coordinate value. What is the numerical type I'm using? I means integer. I means integer. So hmm, so GL vertex 2i means 2 dimension integer. So and also this will give you the points. So that 50 comma 100 we will give you the positions of x and y. So you can check this diagram. So 50 comma 100. So 50 comma 100. So vertex 1 point will be at the location 50 comma 100. So you can check this the same thing 50 comma 100. The second one where is that position 75 comma 150. So the value of x
So,
is yes. The
so
slide.
its slide is
So
not changed.
slides.
Okay, okay. See, one second. Slide is not changing. No, easy to now you will be easy to understand this. Okay. So I told you that. Uh, I told you that. See, it will begin. So GL begin, GL end. GL begin and GL end will be there. Between that, you will be writing the code. Um, so, so whatever vertex you are using, you should be writing. You should be writing between the GL begin and GL end. So point means that you are referring to the point object. So here you are using GL vertex star. Star indicates there will be a suffix, like there is a code, there is a suffix code required for this function. So the first parameter will be the spatial dimension. The spatial dimension was 2 dimension, and I indicates the integer value. So after this, I'm passing the position of x and I'm passing the position of y. So x comma y. So first GL underscore points means we are referring to the points. So first line what I'm doing, GL vertex 2i. So GL vertex 2i means 2 dimension integer 50 comma 100. So you can check on the right hand side of the graph. X value is 50. Corresponding to that y value is 100. So at 50 comma 100, one point is there, one dot is there. Is that understood? So if you write that function, one dot will be available, or one point will be available at the location 50 comma 100, which is shown in the graph. And the second one you check, second one at what position it is there. The second one is x position is 75. So in between 50 and 100, you can see a dot, the second dot, and exactly to 150 position. Can you see that? The second line. GL vertex 2i 70 comma 50 means at the position of x 75 and the position of y 150 you can see a dot. GL vertex 2i means 100 comma 200. The x position will be 100 and y position will be 200. It's like plotting. It's like plotting a graph. You would have plotted the graph, right? The same thing. The same thing. So three dots are getting displayed after you execute this function. Is this is this point clear? Yes or no? Understood? See, is this point clear? Whether you're understanding this? See, it is related to maths, okay? So, um, see, GL vertex, GL vertex 2i 50 comma 100 means at the x position 50 and y position 100, you have to mark a dot or a point will be created. See, you would have plotted a graph, no? How you are plotting the graph? You are plotting the graph by calculating the x and y position. At the suitable x and y position, you would have marked something, no, the same way. So first line function GL vertex 2i means one point will be created at the pixel position 50 comma 100. The GL vertex 2i 75 comma 150 means one point will be created at the position 75 comma 150. GL vertex 2i means at the location 100 comma 200 a point will be printed. Whether you are getting this, yes or no? Yes, no, confusion, not understanding. See, I'm just telling the points, how it is being plotted, how it is being plotted. So that is being shown. Chandana, whether you are understanding this, it's just a positions on the screen. That's all. X comma y. Chetana, Akil, Fayaz, whether this point is clear, like what will happen?
Yes.
See, it is just plotting the points. That's all. You're giving the values, and for that corresponding value, a dot is being displayed. So that is being shown in the graph. So that is how this GL vertex 2i function works. So this is one way. So this is one way of working. So and also see also, so instead of using integer you can also, so I stands for integer, you can also specify f. F stands for float. Also you can specify d stands for double. And also um, and also there is two, no, two means two dimension. Even you can specify three dimension also. So this in OpenGL, this dimensions can be either in two dimension, three dimension, or four dimension also. So you can write GL vertex 2i, GL vertex 3i, GL vertex 4i. So that numerical value will give you the dimension. It can be 2D, it can be 3D, or it can be 4D. And also this suffix code is there, no, I will stand for integer. If you're using f, f will stand for float, and d will stand for double. So GL vertex, this function will specify the coordinate. It will specify the coordinate for the point position. That means 50 comma 100 means point at 50 comma 100. 75 comma 150 means point at 75 comma 150. I think this code is clear. Is this code? I think there will not be any confusion. I think you should know what is GL begin, and for plotting the plot, like for plotting the point, what constant you have to pass, and how to implement this GL vertex 2i. So after this class, you should understand. You should be able to what do we call, simulate points in CG. So if I ask you to write some point functions, you should be able to write them without any issues. So next, so this is one way. This is one way. So it's not only like this, even you can also uh, even you can also display the points in other systems also. See, like this also you can do. So uh, um, so what it is doing here? Here I'm creating an array. See here what I'm doing means, here I'm creating an array. So point one means it's point one is an array with its value as 50 comma 100. It's an integer array with value as 50 comma 100. Point 2 is an integer array with value as 75 comma 150, and point 3 is an integer array with value as 100 comma 200. So now the syntax has changed. GL vertex 2i v. So what is this v means? It's a vector form of, it's a vector form, like that means you're using vector for the coordinate specifications. Earlier, you were writing the points inside this GL vertex function itself. Like there only you are specifying the positions, but now you are passing the array value. Now you are passing the array value, and also now you are using a suffix called to I. We had studied. Now you are using one more suffix called v. So v means a vector form for the coordinate specification. So that's why you are using v. V means you are using the vector, and also you are passing the array, integer array, as the parameter. So this is the second way, but here you are using three suffixes. One was the one to specify the dimension, one to specify the data type, and the other one to specify the vector. You are using it as a vector. So this is the second way of creating the same. The output will be same. The output will not change. This is one more way of creating the points. Is this code clear? The same output, you'll get the same output, but the way of creation is different. Yes or no? Understood? So and there is one more way also. Here you're using, see, the another thing, three dimension, and you're using the floating thing. So here the same thing, instead of suffix 2i, I'm using suffix 3f. 3 indicates three dimension, x, y, and z, and the floating point value. So you're not using the integer value, you're using the floating point value. So we'll talk about this when we'll start with the three dimension things. So as of now, be clear with these two things. How you create the OpenGL point functions. You should be clear with OpenGL point functions. So after this, um, line function is there, but before this line function, we'll just see one attributes. So I told you that default color will be there, default size will be there. So you can change the size. You can change the size of a point by using GL point size. So hmm, so here the size can take the floating point value, so which will be rounded off to an integer. So this is how. So you can set the size by passing the size as the parameter. So whatever parameter you are passing, that can be an integer value, but it can be integer or it can be floating also, but it should be the positive value. It should be the positive floating value, which will be rounded to the nearest integer. And color function, you can change the color of a point by using GL color. So GL color function can be used to change um, the color of a point. So you just be clear with this. After this, we have line function. We have line functions. So line functions we'll see in the uh, next class. We'll see the line functions in the next class. So at least you should be clear with GL point functions. Any doubt regarding today's class? Any doubt? Yes or no? So GL point function, you should be clear now. So now you should be able to clear the points, or you should be able to generate the points in CG. So using OpenGL functions, OpenGL point functions, you should be able to, if I ask you to write a code to display some points on the screen, you should be able to write that. Okay, I'll stop the class now. Remaining we'll see in the next line. In the next class, we'll see about the line functions. functions are there in OpenGL for creating the line thing.